Welcome to FileMaker Topics, small bites of FileMaker presented by uLearnIT. This is a preview of a FileMaker topic previously presented. FileMaker topics are small bites of knowledge and skills in a particular area of FileMaker development. They're initially presented with 30 to 40 minutes of content plus a follow-up discussion in a live webinar. And then there's a video available after the live session. In FileMaker topics, we cover all sorts of areas, including calculations, layout design, scripting, and this one in security. We have flexible access to FileMaker topics. You can subscribe to individual topics or take out a subscription, either monthly, quarterly, or yearly. You can get all the details at our website, ulearnit.com.au/FileMaker-topics. My name's David Head, and this FileMaker topic preview is in the area of security, how to configure privilege sets. In the full FileMaker topic, we covered all of these areas, starting with a security overview, how that fits into the FileMaker security model, looking at default and custom privilege sets in FileMaker, and configuring those privilege sets in the areas of data access and design, extended privileges, other privileges, and finished off with some tips for testing your FileMaker privilege sets. So let's start today with a security overview. When we think about security, we think about words like safeguards, surveillance, defense, and protection. In relation to databases, we can think of three different areas of security. One is controlling access and use of the databases themselves. A second is the physical security of the server and of the files. And a third area is monitoring for usage, both usual and unusual, and also vulnerabilities and attacks on the server. In this topic, we'll concentrate on controlling access and use of the database. And we can identify two areas of control here. One is authentication. Authentication is proving who you are, authenticating yourself. The second area is authorization. Once you've proved who you are, then there is a level of authorization as to what you can see and what you can do. When we look at security in FileMaker, authentication is handled by accounts. So accounts have an account name, which is unique within the file, and a password. Authorization is handled with privilege sets. So privilege sets can be quite complex to set up. There are lots of areas that are possible to control, including areas such as data access and design, extended privileges, and other privileges. And we'll have a quick look at that later. If you like to think of these two entities in terms of relational design, you could consider this to be a one-to-many or many-to-one relationship between the two. Every account must be attached to at least one privilege set and only one privilege set. And every privilege set may have multiple accounts attached to it, but does not necessarily need any accounts attached. So it's a one-to-many relationship with the shown cardinality. You can access security in FileMaker through the File menu, going down to Manage and across to Security. Before we go into that, let's just have a quick look at what is not considered security in FileMaker. Removing a field from a layout and making sure that that field is not directly accessible by the user is not considered to be security. It's really security by obscurity. It does not prevent the user from getting access to that field. Applying conditional visibility to a field So making it disappear under certain conditions is not security. Again, the user can still get access to that field. Setting the option within a field to prohibit modification of value during data entry is not security. It is still possible to modify values in a field, even though this option is turned on in the field options. Having heavily scripted control of user actions, although that contributes to making it a bit harder to get access to data, it is not considered to be security. It is really just user interface. And certainly building your own user accounts and security is definitely not security. There are lots of ways around these sorts of systems that are set up by people in a custom way. So basically anything that is not in the area of file managed security is not considered to be security. It's really user interface or security by obscurity. So when you do go into the security area, what opens up in FileMaker 16 and 17 is slightly different to what opens up in the modern FileMaker 18. So on the left-hand side, you have a dialog box that has different tabs at the top, and you're initially opened up to the area of accounts. In FileMaker 18, on the right-hand side, you can see the screenshot. You open up again to area of accounts, but the other areas of privilege sets are obscured behind the Advanced Settings button. So in FileMaker 16 and 17, when you open up an account, you get to edit it, and you can make changes to the various parts of the account, including the account name and the password, and the privilege set that it's assigned to. When you do the same in FileMaker 18, a panel on the right-hand side opens up, and you can make the same changes to the account, just in a slightly different way. In FileMaker 16 and 17, you can get access to privilege sets, extended privileges, and file access through the buttons at the top of the screen. In FileMaker 18, you use the Advanced Settings button to go to those areas. So let's have a look at privilege sets. Remember that these are the things that we use to control what a user can do and what they can see. It's the authorization part of security. FileMaker provides 3 default privilege sets that are all denoted by being enclosed in square brackets. These privilege sets cannot be deleted, but of course they don't need to be used with the exception of full access. They also cannot be edited except in the area of extended privileges. So in a file there must be at least one account that has full access privileges, with the exception that it's possible with developer tools to completely remove full access to a file, but if that's done it can never be restored. So you need to make sure that you have a backup copy of the file with full access if you ever want to modify it in any way in future. The data entry only and read-only access privilege sets can only be duplicated, they cannot be edited. But duplicating one of those privilege sets is actually a useful thing to be able to do in terms of establishing a start point from where you can then go on and customize that privilege set. So speaking of custom privilege sets, you can obviously create your own privilege sets. And you can do that by obviously duplicating an existing privilege set or by creating a new privilege set from scratch. Once you've done that, you can simply edit the privilege set. This will open up a dialog box like this that allows you access to all the different areas of privilege set design. So firstly, we've got a complex area of data access and design. This is where we control access to records, access to layouts, access to value lists, and also access to scripts. So in the full FileMaker topic, we go into each of those different areas and look at what the options are. Below that, we have the area of extended privileges, and the standard extended privileges in a FileMaker file provided by FileMaker are mostly to do with access methods. So for example, turning on access to the FileMaker network is normally a priority to be able to allow access via a privilege set over the FileMaker network to a shared or a hosted file. You can also see there an extended privilege for access via FileMaker Web Direct. And then we have other privileges, a sort of a grab bag of all the other sorts of things that you can control within a privilege set. The first two, allow printing and allow exporting, are very important security risks. Allowing both of those things does really open up the data in a database to being removed by an unscrupulous user. So there are lots of other things that we can control about the privilege set there. If we focus on the data access and design area, as I said, this is a very complex area, and there are lots of different options within these 4 pop-up menus. For records, these are the standard sets that you can establish to start with. Either you start from a point of view of creating, editing and deleting in all tables, or just create and edit and no delete in all tables, or view only in all tables, or all no access. And then you can have custom privileges, which is going in and really changing table by table what happens in each of those. For layouts and also for value lists, we have options of them being all modifiable, all view only, or all no access. And again, these are starting points from which you're going to go to custom privileges and make specific changes to specific layouts and value lists. And much the same options for scripts, being either all modifiable, all executable only, that is, you can run them but you can't change them, or all no access. So above the line of custom privileges, these options give us starting points for setting up our access to these various areas. So here's a pro tip. If you're setting up a new privilege set, then for each of these areas, you should select the setting that is closest to your requirements before then selecting custom privileges. And what that does is effectively sets that as a starting point for all the records or all the layouts or all the value lists or all the scripts. And then you can make your tweaks and changes from that starting point. So that's a pro tip for you. Well, that's all we've got time for in this preview of this security FileMaker topic. In the full topic, we cover more details about data access and design, extended privileges and the other privileges, and finish off with tips for testing your privilege sets. Thanks for watching this FileMaker topic preview, and hopefully if you have any questions, comments or suggestions, just email me at david@ulearnit.com.au, and maybe you'll visit our website ulearnit.com.au/FileMaker-topics and sign up for a subscription. This has been a preview. Now all you need to do is to go and subscribe. Thanks very much and have a great rest of your day.